to Phase 8D, stakeholders advocate early knowledge of essentials and acquisition of needed medical skills. Civil servants commend federal government for implementation of Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System (IPPIS). Plus, stakeholders at roundtables seek effective implementation of policies and laws to fight gender-based violence. Details shortly. In order to meet President Muhammadu Buhari's target of making agriculture an alternative to oil, creating food sufficiency and reducing hunger in the country, the need for our government to invest in agricultural infrastructure has been brought to the fore. Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade stated this while at the inspection of an irrigation system at the Ayade rice farms at Obanliko local government area of the state. Paul Ebel reports.
The federal government, through the Central Bank of Nigeria, has made available various channels to assist farmers such as the Anchor Borrower Scheme, among others, towards achieving food sufficiency in Nigeria. Apart from spearheading the agro-industrialization policy, Governor Ben Ayade is also into Irish potato farming, beef from cattle for export, as well as the Ayade rice farm. The cultivation of rice needs lots of water, and this inspection is to utilize water from a natural source and make artificial rains for the rice farm.
We have a miniature local dam structure to allow us bury our submersible pump to pump water in varying sizes from 8 inches to a 12-inch pipe that delays water through a control valve system into a holding earthen basin lined with high-density polyethylene tetrafilate. So with the HDP lining, we can be able to retain water and redistribute by gun rain technique across the entire farm size. That way, we have sufficient rice harvest to support both the Ogoja rice mill as well as the Ayade rice mill. And the intention is to support the Buhari agri policy on having an alternative to the oil industry, to be able to create food sufficiency, food adequacy, and of course reduce the issues associated with hunger and starvation and youth restiveness.
The venture is already providing employment opportunities for many youths, which will also reduce crime in the locality. In Calabar, Paul Abel, Nta News.
The people of Obudu in Cross River State will soon receive quality medical care with the provision of a 140-bed specialist hospital. Paul Ebel again reports that Governor Ben Ayade was at the facility, which is expected to provide social welfare through the Ayade Care Insurance Scheme.
The construction of the hospital, which is in partnership with German and Nigerian companies, will provide leverage to the Obudu Ranch Resort, International Cargo and Passenger Airport, as well as the British Canadian University, Obudu. It is also expected to serve as a reference hospital in Africa with the best of modern world-class medical equipment.
That will cater to those our aged people, our parents who are sick, those who don't have loved ones, who are unable to finance their medical bills. So there's a social welfare component of this hospital, which is to us far more critical and more important than the economics and business of it. Health actually is not a business. It's actually a service to humanity. And that's why the state government is bending back to actually support this great initiative. My hope is that when we are done, this will become the reference hospital for Nigeria. It has the MRO, it has a CT scan, it has advanced level brachytherapy for high level oncology, it has orthopedics, it has dentistry, it has the maternity, the pediatrics, it has all the branches and the core aspects of medicine, and we are sending a team out there to Germany for massive training, 6 months to commissioning. It's actually going to support the British Canadian University of Law and Medicine, so this may perhaps be like the teaching hospital to support the British Canadian University.
The hospital will also have a special COVID-19 unit with oxygen plant and will generate a 24-hour solar power electricity without dependence on the national grid. In Calabar, Paul Abel, Nta News.
An early knowledge of essentials of Phase 8 and the acquisition of basic medical skills can become a life-saving activity especially in the face of uncertainties like intercommunal clashes, unsafe routes, increased violence, and other threatened conditions. This is the submission of concerned Nigerians and stakeholders on the significance of this year's theme of the World First Aid Day, which is Be a First Aid Hero at School and in your community. Maureen Liwajon has more of the reports.
According to research, almost 27% deaths occur due to a lack of medical attention. From the website of the Red Cross Society, many people across the globe get hurt and injured due to lack of timely medical attention, and in some serious cases, many people even lost lives. Findings also reveals that if an individual has the right knowledge of first aid, it will help in reduction of injuries and deaths, as well as the impact of disasters, calamities, and daily emergencies. But how many people have the right knowledge about the first aid treatment?
I was trying to clean my nails from these regular people, and then he mistakenly injured me. Everyone in the compound was like, use salt, use water.
But when I was in secondary school, during one of the subjects I was doing, so they train us.
Whenever I have any injury or maybe I feel feverish, I use first aid.
As the world marks this year's First Aid Day, stakeholders maintain that advocacy is important by learning the essentials of first aid, teaching of first aid services in schools, inculcating in children basic medical skills, as well as having emergency numbers and knowing the essential things that one must keep in a first aid kit.
The theme for this year's celebration is Be a First Aid Hero at School and in your community. It means that we need to enlighten more people, especially in schools. Also in our communities, we also need to enlighten people more and also let them see the need to acquire these skills.
World First Aid Day is celebrated as a campaign aimed at promoting the importance of first aid training and increasing its accessibility to save more lives in a crisis. In Calabar, Maureen Liwajon, Nta News.
As of 9 September 2021, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed 727 new cases of COVID-19 from 17 states and the FCT at large. The latest figures released by NCDC shows that Rivers tops the charts with 257 new cases, followed by Lagos with 157, Edo 85, Imo 63, FCT 33, and Delta 22. Other states are Kaduna 27, Benue 17, Akwa Ibom and Ekiti states 13 new cases each, Taraba 12, and Bayelsa 5. Both Kano and Ogun recorded 4 cases each. Oyo has 3, while Abia, Nasarawa, and Plateau State recorded 2 cases each. With these, Nigeria now has a total of 197,773 confirmed cases, out of which 185,597 cases were treated and discharged, while 2,585 died of the virus. A constructive dialogue by stakeholders where experiences are shared, resolutions and recommendations reached to strengthen the elimination of violence against women and girls is the reason behind a one-day interaction of traditional and religious leaders in South Nigeria. Paul Abel reports that taking messages to end gender-based violence to the grassroots, as well as effective implementation of policies, acts, and laws is the thrust of discussions at the summit.
Violence against women and girls has in recent years, especially during the COVID-19 lockdown, been on the rise. Sustaining the fight against this monster from different fronts, which appears in varying forms such as physical, sexual, psychological, and economic, the United Nations and European Union Spotlight Initiative assembled these stakeholders to ensure the message is driven home for the desired impact.
Having invited the heads of churches, they will now go and step down to the various branches. The traditional rulers, they have a lot of chiefs under them. They'll pass on the message, and like somebody said, go to the grassroots. We believe it will get closer to the people.
The key message dwelling on the theme of the event presented by an erudite scholar narrows on causes, consequences of gender-based violence and what must be done to solve the malady.
Basic interventions that will be useful to the girl child in the village, in schools, in the streets, in homes.
Participants with experiences shared same during a panel discussion and interactive sessions with pieces of advice.
Cross River State, a couple of laws have been passed that supports the rights of women, which, if effectively applied, will improve the well-being of women and girls.
The traditional rulers in their various domains will stand up and talk against these harmful practices in their own domain.
We should be able to inculcate the right things, the right rules to our subjects and to the society in general.
All our guests like this, stop all this raping. If you see the Quran or Islamic stand.
We are going home to educate our people, to make advocacy, to ensure that every man that is created after the image and likeness of God is given the equal opportunity.
As stakeholders and participants arise from the forum, they are hopeful that the recommendations will go beyond the hall to the public if the war against violence against women and girls must end sooner than later. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
You are still watching NTA Calabar News at 7. You can watch this newscast on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/NTA Calabar. A break now, the news continues shortly. Stay with us.
As news breaks from the north, south, east, and west of Nigeria, we bring it to you. News from the length and breadth of Cross River State is sent to you via this channel.
With movers and shakers in various spheres of influence talking to us, we carve a niche and showcase our experience in broadcasting. Because it's NTA Calabar before others.
You can't get this anywhere else. It's only here on NTA Calabar News, showing at these times 3 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 7 p.m. every day. NTA Calabar News. Our experience counts.
Welcome back and thanks for being there. And now to the rest of our bulletin. To ensure food safety for a healthy living, nutrition expert advises people and food vendors to maintain a high level of food hygiene regulations by ensuring that food, especially roadside meals, are properly kept away from contamination. Emediongumo completes the story.
Food safety and hygiene are important for the general well-being of an individual, as it helps to protect the health of consumers from foodborne illnesses and food poisoning. The Food Hygiene Regulations 2006 legally requires food vendors to ensure that foodstuffs are properly handled safe to avoid being contaminated, thereby endangering the lives of consumers. The question is, how many people are aware of the meals they consume outside their homes and the mode of preparations?
Maybe you travel outside your state where you are staying. You can eat outside because you will not go there with your pot. But it's advisable you cook your food and eat it by yourself.
It's not bad patronizing food vendors. It's not a bad idea. Another one is helping improving our economy, circulation of cash.
This raises concerns as some of the food vendors expose meals to be contaminated by flies and other environmental hazards without properly applying food safety regulations. A nutritionist admonished individuals to be conscious of what they consume and urges government to enact and enforce relevant laws to protect the people. The nutritionists maintain that food safety is a priority for a healthy living for everyone. In Uyo, Emediongumo, NTA News.
For rapid and sustainable development in part of the country, a review of the current revenue sharing formula that will ensure more allocation of funds to states and local government areas is imperative. Ebonyi State Governor Chief David Umahi made this known while receiving officials of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission at the Government House in Abakaliki. Chika Okori reports.
The aim of the visit was primarily to elicit opinion of Ebonyi State on how to review the nation's revenue allocation formula to ensure equitable distribution of the accrued fund into the Federation accounts among the 3 tiers of government. Governor David Umahi, represented by his deputy, Dr. Kelechi Igwe, while expressing firm belief that the review is timely and apt, considering the present economic realities, noted that President Muhammadu Buhari is on the right track, setting unparalleled agenda of equity, trust and justice, which will help to entrench more developmental gains in parts of the country.
Our proposal, which we present to you as a submission, is a new sharing formula of federal government 40%, state government 35%, and local government 25%.
Leader of the delegation and member representing Ebonyi State in the commission, Mr. Patrick Mbabo, said the federal government is aware of the present socio-economic and political challenges in the country, hence the essence of embarking on the review.
In view of the changing socio-economic and political dynamics of the nation, the commission has been prompted and compelled to commence full-scale engagement of representatives of various stakeholders and the people nationwide in the process of fashioning a new revenue allocation formula for the country.
There are high hopes that the outcome of the review will favor states and local government areas with more funds to address critical sectors of the economy for the betterment of the citizenry. In Abakaliki, Chika Ukore, NTA News.
Civil servants in Akwa Ibom State have commended the efforts of the federal government for the implementation of Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System, IPPIS, which they say will eliminate the issues of ghost workers and ensure the unified payment of salaries. Kelvin Samuel has details of that report.
The team of the Integrated Personnel Payroll Information System, IPPIS, on arrival to Akwa Ibom State commenced verification and capturing without delays. According to those captured, the processes are a lot easier than they had anticipated, as they appreciate federal government for proper documentation of workers, which they say will help eliminate all discrepancies and ensure that workers get paid as at when due.
If they follow what they are doing now, federal government staff that were lamenting because of short pay, they will have every cause to rejoice.
This is a very good step in the right direction to keep all the workers moving. The issue of ghost workers should be able to be, checkmated, at least at this level.
I love what the federal government is doing. This is a means to really ascertain the real workers, those who are committed to the cause of the proper development of Nigeria.
Leader of the team, David Daniel, speak on the importance of IPPIs to workers during and after service.
To ascertain the correct number of staff we have on our platform, that is in the public service of the Federation. And at the same time, by putting our records in the computer, it is while you are in service, you will not have problem. And while you are after the service, while you are looking for your benefits, you will not have problem. That all civil servants must have all their records correct.
The exercise will continue with the team in Akwa Ibom State till 10th of September with the hope that all federal civil servants in the state will maximize this opportunity to be captured. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
Concerted efforts are being put in place to sustain strategies for crime reduction in Cross River State, especially through intelligence gathering, intensive foot and vehicular patrols, as well as formation of quick response squad. Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 6 Headquarters, Calabar, Usman Sule Gomna, who said this during his familiarization tour of Cross River State Police Command, tasked personnel to be constitutional while enforcing the law because human rights must be considered. Cross River State, known as the People's Paradise, is rated by observers as the most peaceful state in the Niger Delta region. Despite the low crime rates, The state is said to be absolutely not free from threats, including cultism, kidnapping and other crimes, which were brought to the notice of the new Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG Zone 6, during his familiarization tour of the Cross River State Command of the Nigeria Police Force, Calabar, as he urged officers and men of the force to exhibit high level of professionalism in the discharge of their duties.
We must be professional. It's when we are professional that the public will appreciate us, and then we will achieve better.
The AIG, however, commended the Cross River State government for its efforts in keeping the state calm and promised to collaborate with members of the public for effective policing.
There are many methods, and we are going to improve on the ones that we already have on ground. Visibility policing, patrol. So I'm calling on all the citizens of this state to partner with us and to look at us as friends so that we can make this place safe for everybody.
There was also a meeting with royal fathers, community leaders, and the Police Community Relations Committee, PCRC, as efforts are being made by the police to cooperate with local communities as means of nipping criminality in the bud. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News. A delegation from West Africa's main political and economic bloc, ECOWAS, will head to Guinea on Friday, 2 days after it suspended the country's membership in response to a military coup that removed President Alpha Conde. A member of the delegation, Alpha Bari, the Burkina Faso member, said foreign ministers of Burkina Faso, Ghana, Nigeria, and Togo are due to land in the capital of Conakry as representatives of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The high-level diplomatic mission is expected to demand the return to constitutional order and to push for the immediate release of Conde, who was arrested by special forces on Sunday. Life in the capital was gradually returning to normal, with markets reopening their doors as citizens await the announcement of a new government. To end the news, a recap of the major stories. Ahead of World First Aid Day, stakeholders have advocated early knowledge of essential and acquisition of needed medical skills. Civil servants have commended the federal government for implementation of Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System, IPPIS. It was also in the news that stakeholders at a summit in Calabar have called for effective implementation of policies and laws to fight gender-based violence. That is it on our news tonight. Thanks for watching and do have a lovely evening. Good night.